Alright guys, Fox here, FXRC, and I have something pretty special today. Or at least something I think is pretty special. It is the Vanquish VS4-10 Ultra. This is the third truck in the Vanquish lineup. The first being the Origin, which I'm pretty sure is discontinued, but the second would be the Pro, and then this being the Ultra is the third. What makes it the Ultra is these beautiful portal axles. Look at those beautiful portal axles, Curry portal axles. Just very nice, all aluminum, very nicely anodized. And so with the portal axle also comes the higher price tag. This is the most expensive one. I want to say it's about $80 more expensive than the Pro model, putting this at around $830, give or take. So it's pretty expensive for a kit. It doesn't come with any electronics, and you got to put it together. You got to paint the body, and that's about it. So first, I guess I'll get into how amazing this truck is, because it is absolutely amazing, before I kind of just go into some of the things I guess I don't really care for or understand the direction they went with it. But we start with the obvious, is this beautiful body. I am by no means a very good painter. It's tedious. You got to take your time. You got to be very patient, and sometimes I kind of lack that, I guess. So besides from my shoddy paint job, the body's absolutely incredible. It's a Lexan body. It's a two-piece. It's got a beautiful interior, very detailed interior. A steering wheel, a shifter, some decal stickers that go on the side and the inside, and it's just a very nice interior. And then the interior is attached to the sunken bed on the back. So it's a two-piece. You get the outside and then the interior and the bed, which kind of makes it easier to paint too, I guess. But anyway, so a very nice body. Has this beautiful composite front grille. It's got a little radiator behind there, and it's got the light buckets in the front and in the rear. These beautiful light buckets. So it's all ready to get some lights. So I definitely probably will be adding those, because you might as well. So the body is absolutely just top notch. Very nice for a Lexan body. Probably one of the nicest Lexan bodies I've ever done. Moving on, these are not the stock tires, because it does come. A lot of kits, I guess, don't necessarily come with tires and wheels. This one does, and it comes with, if I can focus, comes with these tires and wheels. It's a plastic or a composite bead lock with a metal ring that holds the tire on. I didn't really care for them. I think the tires are, I don't know really what they were going for with this. The tires are just, I think they're way too small. They're very skinny. It's kind of hard to tell maybe on camera just how skinny they really are, even compared to these beautiful Proline Hyrax. They are a very skinny tire. So I decided not to go and use these. I'm sure a lot of people probably aren't going to use these. I almost rather they didn't even put them in and maybe put the money towards something else. I'll get into that in a little bit, but I mean, they seem like they'd be okay tire. They're not. I just think they're too small, and they're way too skinny. So anyway, got a set of these beautiful aluminum rims by SSD with some SLW hubs. These are not the hubs that come on them. I also am not going to use the aluminum rings that come with the SSD. I got these beautiful inner brass. Very nice. And then a set of these Proline Hyrax This is the Predator compound, I believe. It's the softer one. They're pretty nice and squishy, so it's a beautiful tire. And this is actually the first time I'm trying these Proline dual stage foams. I usually do like Crawler Innovation or something like that. I figured I'd give these a shot. I mean, they look nice, so we'll see how they work. It has these beautiful composite front bumper. It's definitely a high clearance, good approach angle bumpers, front and in the rear. Beautiful composite bumper, as well as the sliders that actually catch the body, so it kind of holds the body in there on the side. So very nice, you know. And honestly, as far as performance, composite's kind of the way you want to go for these. It just, you know, it's the lighter, it slides better on rocks, and it's lighter, so it's kind of the way to go. And these are probably about as good as it gets for composite bumpers and sliders. So these SSDs, they're compatible with the Vanquish hubs, which is great, and they are definitely a lot less money. So on the actual bead locks, I have the brass inner weights on each one, so it brings up the weight a little bit on the tires, and still definitely cheaper than the Vanquish. So they seem to be very, very high quality, very nice. You know, I think it's just a very nice looking wheel, so I'm sure they'll perform well. I mean, they're a wheel, so I can't see them not really performing well. And then I want to say, I don't remember the exact weight, around, I want to say maybe 9 ounces per, something like that, 9.3 ounces. So they should be pretty good weight all together. You add them up. And moving on, I'll take the body off, get inside, show you what I did with electronics and the rest of this beautiful truck. With the body off, you can kind of see just how beautiful this thing is, and definitely very well thought out. So I guess probably the second star of the show, besides, you know, the first being the portal axles, is this VFD transmission. It is it puts the motor as low as possible, and I guess as far as forward as possible that it can do with this transmission. So it's got a nice low forward motor. Now on this model, the Ultra, to compensate, I guess, the cost of the portal axles, they kind of cheaped out a little bit on this transmission. Well, on the Pro model, these two standoffs right here are both aluminum, as well as the, I believe the actual motor mount is aluminum, and then the gears are machined on the Pro model. On this one, these are composite standoffs, composite motor mount, and the gears are those sintered gears. They're not the machine gears, they're that pressed metal gears. I really wasn't too impressed with that. I felt like the $80 higher price tag should have covered the cost of the portal axles, instead of, you know, losing a lot of the aluminum parts for the transmission. There's also a couple of bearing plates that go on the inside of this part of the transmission that holds the bearings, that are, I believe, also aluminum on the Pro model, whereas this is composite. So I wish they didn't do that. I mean, honestly, I wish that instead of getting these crappy little wheels, I mean, I don't know, maybe they're going to be really good, I don't know, but I feel like instead of these, they could have just put the money into the transmission and gave you those aluminum parts. You can get them aftermarket, or not aftermarket, but you can go and get them from Vanquish, because there's really not a lot of aftermarket path for this truck. I know RC 4-wheel drive makes some cosmetic things, like they make some bumpers and sliders for this, and then Vanquish has some parts that I don't even say they're aftermarket, because they're just parts that they put on the Pro model that they didn't put onto this. So I don't know why, but they did. And then I did actually end up getting aluminum shock mounts, because this comes with composite ones. I don't really care for composite shock mounts, so I did get the aluminum ones. I went with the extended shock mounts to kind of drop the truck down a little bit, because they suggest using 90mm shocks, and I think these are 80mm shocks. So it definitely drops the truck down a little bit. You do have to cut out some of these wheel wells to make it work, as well as the bed a little bit. You got to finagle it to get the truck to the body to set all the way down. So, but once you cross that hurdle, you're good to go. You can get the aluminum ones, the regular aluminum ones. You don't have to get the extended ones, but I did. So anyway, you get these Lexan wheel wells. You know, they're not nothing crazy. They're kind of just wheel wells, I guess, and you do have to paint them. But I mean, I don't see them holding up, but I mean, they're wheel wells. I'll probably end up taking them off eventually anyway. So anyway, moving on. For my electronics, I went, of course, with a Holmes Hobby Puller Pro. This is the V2, the version 2, and it is a 3500 kV. Fully censored, just an amazing little motor. All Holmes Hobby motors are absolutely amazing. You really can't go wrong. And then I got that paired with a Castle Mamba X ESC. I have that mounted all the way forward, as well as my Savox 2290 servo, very strong servo. This one's not waterproof, however, I did open it up and spray it with some of this Corrosion X. I've been using this on my electronics that I want to waterproof lately, and honestly, it's been working really well. You know, you just spray it in, you can wipe it off, you don't even have to, and you just spray it on and leave it if you want. And it definitely repels water really well and kind of makes it waterproof. So it's been working out so far, but who knows, you will probably void your warranty, so do it at your own risk. I also did it to my receiver. The receiver box in this is all the way in the back, and they kind of got it disguised here as like a kind of like a wheel, like a fuel kind of thing, fuel cell there. I don't know why, but they did that, I guess. But I mean, it's kind of cool. You know, having your, I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, how much does your receiver weigh anyway? Really. So I did decide to mount it back there. This is not a waterproof box. I will take some steps to kind of try to make it waterproof, I guess, but it's definitely not. There's a huge opening here for the wires, and there's no rubber seal. Water will definitely get in there if you don't take steps to prevent it. Alright, and moving on. You know, it's got this beautiful aluminum battery tray, as well as these electronic trays on the side. They, I think this all kind of acts as chassis braces too, especially this battery tray. But there is places to mount a strap on the sides here, so you can run a smaller battery on the sides if you'd like. I'll be running just a regular battery, probably right in the middle. What else? I mean, really, it's not really. They definitely put this thing together. I mean, it's a very stiff chassis, just very nicely put together, very nicely made. So let's get to this beautiful part that's underneath here. I messed up the wheel wells there. These beautiful portal axles, just very nice aluminum, very nice. Just very nicely anodized, as you would expect from these high-end Vanquish parts. They're just very nicely anodized and nicely done. So it's got all stainless steel 4-link with a panhard, and then it's got the steel drive shafts by Incision. I believe that's, and they're just kind of the Incision. I believe, like I said, that's a you know, Incision's just a runoff of Vanquish products. So very nice. You do have to get your own servo horn. They suggest a 20mm Vanquish, which I did go with. So you got the 20mm Vanquish aluminum servo horn in there, clampic servo horn. And that is about it, I guess, for that. There's I went with the brass in the wheels because there's really not a lot of places you can really add weight. Brass, you know, I don't even think they actually make, you know, brass to go onto the ends of these. So I mean, pretty much the only way you're going to put any kind of weight is in the wheels. So I guess that's really about it. Got these beautiful, they do have these beautiful aluminum, all aluminum incision shocks. These ones are 80mm. You know, they're good. I took my time, you do have to build them, put them together. I use a lot of green slime just to make sure that they don't leak, because I have heard about these leaking, and I haven't had that problem yet, so we'll see if they hold up. So the springs on these are a little too soft. You can get a set of 3 springs through Vanquish for this, which I probably will end up doing just to kind of make it a little bit better, a little bit more stiffer. It's just a little too soft. But anyway, and really that's kind of about it. So I mean, my main gripe, I guess, I mean, because it's really hard to find any flaws or you know, things bad about this thing. It was very well put together, very well thought out truck. So I mean, like I said, it's very hard to find anything to gripe about. But I guess my main thing would be the fact that they really did cheap out on this amazing transmission by putting, you know, all of these composites. I'm sure that they're plenty kind of strong, but there's no way they're going to be as strong as the actual machine gears and the aluminum standoffs in the aluminum motor mount. I did end up ordering the machine gears and the motor mount, the aluminum motor mount. There's 2 different motor mounts you can get. There's a regular one and there's a lightweight one. I did get the lightweight one. I didn't bother getting the standoffs. I couldn't get those through A-Main. You have to get them directly through Vanquish. And that was just one part, so I'm going to wait till I'm getting a few other things, and then I will probably end up getting those also. As well as the actual aluminum bearing supports for the inside of the transmission. Everything Vanquish that you're getting are more expensive. They're nice parts. I mean, even these shock towers, they're beautiful aluminum, beautifully anodized. They're very nice shock towers. But these 2 sets alone were over $90. That's pretty expensive for some shock towers. I mean, that's probably about as much as a shock tower on a Basher 8 scale M2C. You know, it's about the same price. So, and it's a lot more metal there. So it's just kind of crazy that they're so expensive. I don't know. But I wish that, because I mean, this thing does carry an $80 higher price tag than the Pro. So you're telling me with that extra 80, it really cost you that much more to make portal axles, where you had to make all these parts composite on the transmission? You couldn't throw in those aluminum ones there too, you know? And then why even bother putting these in? You know, put the money towards something else. Put the money towards that transmission. Or if you are gonna, don't even put tires. Give me a set of your legendary fucking Vanquish aluminum beadlock rims, you know, instead of these composite ones. Come on. So I mean, this is supposed to be like the high-end kit, like the best, and then and they give you this. I don't get it. You know, maybe these are amazing. And if you're somebody out there and you got this kit and you're using these tires and you think they're just absolutely amazing, I would love to know it. I would love to hear it, because I just don't see it. I don't think people are really going to use them. I think they're just going to end up getting something else. So I think it was a waste. But besides that, it's a beautiful truck. Like I said, very well thought out. As far as performance, I'm sure it's going to perform very, very well. I do think there is one thing they overlooked, and that is on where the panhard mount is. And it's going to be really hard for you guys to see in there, but where this in here with this panhard mount, is comes down, it hits the top of the pumpkin, so you only have a very little ways. If you know, you don't have full you don't have full of travel of the actual shock before you actually hit that pan, before you hit the pan hard on the top of the pumpkin. So which is normally they either put it to one, you know, to the outside of the pumpkin so that it comes down, and typically it will hit before you have full clearance of the shock, full travel of the shock, but not as soon as this. Now this truck is supposed to be 10 millimeters higher because I do have the extended shock mounts, so it wouldn't, you know, be quite as fast. I guess you'd be 10 millimeters more before it hit it, but I mean it's really pretty quick before, you know, I mean you hit, it's already hit. Like that just seems I'm gonna try to see if I can do something to kind of remedy that, but it's the way they have it, it doesn't look like there's gonna be much you can do. So I mean you're right there, you're hitting and then you're pushing the body up. So and every other tire is great. You have full travel of the shock. It's perfect, absolutely perfect. Just this one right here, you're gonna hit that pan hard and it's gonna start pushing the truck up. So I don't know why they would overlook that. I would think they would have, you know, done something to think that out, but I don't know. What do I know? I guess maybe I can do something to remedy it and kind of pull the pan hard towards the tire more, so that you can, you know, you get a little bit more travel with that tire and that shock before it actually hits the pan hard. So anyway, like I said, there's not, I mean those are kind of just little things. Is really, as far as everything else, it's really a beautiful truck. You know, not a lot of upgrade paths for this. Like I said, there's not a lot of making for this. Vanquish is the only aftermarket besides the cosmetic things through RC four-wheel drive. So besides those, it's a really nice truck. I'm looking forward to see how well it performs. I can't imagine it not performing well. I imagine it will. So anyway, that's about it. First look of my Vanquish VS4-10 Ultra. I think it's going to be a really good performer. It's just an absolutely stunning looking truck, for sure, especially with these Proline Hyraxes and these beautiful aluminum B-Lock SSD. You do need, with with the hubs that come with these SSDs, the offset's not enough to clear the axle, the inside of the actual steering arm. It rubs just a bit, and you can either shave off a little bit of that steering arm, or you got to get an extended hub. Fortunately, I have plenty of Vanquish ones, so I just threw one on to get a little bit of a better offset, and I guess that's about it. So you can see, I mean, the tire's kind of going in pretty good. You know, these little screws here, I'm probably going to switch these out too, because they do have like these little cap head screws that will probably catch a rock or two. The tires are pretty in, so I don't know, it might not be a problem, but I think it'd probably be a good idea to change those out to cap heads, opposed to, opposed to those ones. Something that will slide a little better over some rocks. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting this thing out onto some rocks. It should be a pretty good performer. So anyway, this is Fox FXRC. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely consider liking and subscribing. You might as well. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's kind of validation for my hours and hours of work, building, and all this stuff. You know, it's kind of just a hobby for me, but you know, I try to do what I can to get to show how amazing these awesome RC cars are. You know, I try to I don't necessarily go out and buy, you know, every single RC car that comes out, because that's not really what I like. What I want to do. It's more about there has to be something special about it, and this absolutely is something special. So those are the RC cars that I love, the ones that are just special right out of the box, or something about them has got to be special. Even the upgrade path can be special, but something, you know, it just can't be any old RC car. So because there is all kinds of them, but this one is absolutely special. It should be a hell of a performer. So anyway, Fox FXRC, thank you so much for watching. Bye.